Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with Life with Chesapeake General Hospital, May 7th, 2025. Look, the countdown begins, y'all. The countdown begins. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I said once, I don't know what Lois had said, but she said something and Lulu made a face. I said, Lulu brain over there calculating. Lulu brain over there calculating. That's what I said. And by the end of the episode, that's when I guess she made a recording and she said, find out where Lois was when Gio was born. I said, yes, about doggone time. Let's get this show on the road. But yeah, on today's episode, we're gonna start with Chasing Brooklyn. So basically, they was just having a date night out or whatever. And I thought, look, I'm confused. I am confused. I bet I said that a lot. I be saying I'm confused a lot. Didn't they say they was gonna adopt the older child? Chase started talking about changing diapers and stuff like that, and saying how it's good to get out and just enjoy themselves because once they get to change the diapers and stuff, it's gonna be another story. And I said, I thought they agreed that they wanted to adopt somebody older. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. But yeah, that's how they was doing. They was just having a date night. They was talking about, adopting and stuff like that. And then that's when Cody came in and told them that Rocco was in the hospital, but he's going to be okay. Um, I think I think that's it. I think that's it. What they seen. Oh no. Oh, Lois came in at the end of the episode and she was upset and she was just telling them about how Dante reacted and how he treated Gio. And they was like, why is she so upset? I said, she giving it away. I said, might as well go and tell because Lulu about to find out anyways. But yeah, she was upset and they didn't understand why she was taking it personal or whatever. Then you got Gio over here. Gio ended up telling Emma that he finally knows how Dante feels about him. I mean, he not wrong in a sense. He not wrong because he went to talking about how he grew up and how they always coddled him and baby him and stuff like that. And I was like, well, he not wrong because he technically did say how he feel about him. Even Lulu told Dante he went too far when he was blaming Gio for Rocco being in the hospital with alcohol poisoning. Exactly right. I was waiting on her. I was waiting on Lulu to say something to indicate that she knew or suspected that Gio was Dante and Brooklyn's child. What did Lois say? She was telling Dante about. Look, I'm all over the place. I wasn't supposed to talk about this right now, but she was telling Dante, how can you not recognize the good heart that Gio has? You have a nice heart. I said nice heart. You have a good heart or whatever. And she was just telling him that. And Lulu was back there. I said, Lulu brain calculating, y'all. She's figuring it out. She putting it together. And she kept saying stuff. It was like she was telling him without telling him. It was like she was telling him without telling him. And I was like, yes, it's about time. It's about that time. What's today? Wednesday? Do y'all think it's going to be out by Friday? No. Probably by the end of May. But yeah, Emma and Josh, they was just talking. And she was saying how she didn't expect, to have a good conversation with her, be so easily to talk to her or whatever. They was talking about Dex and she was talking about, him passing and how he didn't really get to live his life and stuff like that. Then Emma ends up telling Josh that she's on a mission. I said, she an agent too? But it sounded like she was just on a mission herself. She said something about Dalton, he was in LA doing something crooked or whatever. Did she say that they never got a chance to prove it? I'm confused now. Was she in Dalton class? Cause wouldn't Dalton know her? Wouldn't he know her or whatever? Cause he seems fascinated with her. So wouldn't he know who she is or whatever? He talking about he was transferred there and stuff. So I was confused by that because she was saying how he had something going on dangerous in regards to animals and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, like wouldn't he know if she was in his class or even if she was attending the college or whatever, or if his name was attached to something? But she did say she had to sign an NDA, so I was like, I don't know. I was confused by that part. But yeah, she was like the only reason why she got in his class and she trying to get that position is because she want to get close enough to see what he got going on. I thought Josh was gonna end up telling her something. I said she gonna have to tell somebody because I don't know. So far, I'm doubtful against what's his name, Vaughn. He over here snitching to Brendan and stuff, and he had like he's trying to score brownie points. I think that's what it's called, y'all. He had like he's trying to score brownie points. He ended up telling everything about Emma, not Emma, about Jocelyn and the fact that she was struggling because she had to, betray her friend and all this other stuff. And I said, okay, he must want her spot. Then not only that, he went to telling Brennan about Anna. Somebody Josh said that Anna and Dawson was together. I was like, wait a minute now. I said they trying to make it seem like it kind of seemed like they were trying to make it seem like Anna in on it or something. I said she don't know nothing about that. But Brennan did end up saying that Anna's smart and if she hangs out with Dawson again, she's gonna end up putting two and two together about what he got going on. But yeah, that leads me to Vaughn and Brandon. Like I said, he was filling Brandon in on everything that happened and saying he don't think that Jocelyn is ready. And Brandon basically said he made his decision. So I said he got to be watched. He got to be watched. He gonna end up snitching or something. He gonna end up finding out something and telling on her. But yeah, that's when they called Jocelyn and she told Emma she had to go. And she was telling him everything that happened. And so far, I said so far, everything that she found out, because Emma ended up telling her, why she got it spilled, the stuff about Dalton or whatever. What else did they say? I think he said Vaughn gonna end up getting a job there. He working there some type of way under disguise and stuff like that. Oh, it was something else. Something else. I know he told her not to screw up. Hold on, y'all. It was something else. Vaughn said he was worried that Josh doesn't have discipline. That's what he said. Yeah. And I wrote down, I said, wouldn't Dalton remember Emma? Like, I don't know. I don't know about that part. But yeah, Christina, Alexis, Ava, Rick. Look, Molly's still at it. I said, Molly, shut up. I said, Molly, be quiet, please. I said, you over here talking all that, trying to defend your sister. And she don't try to take your dad out. Well, she tried to take Ava out, not your daddy, but then she really got him. She really got him or whatever. Look, but yeah, with them, Christina was suspicious. She was asking what they was doing here. Rick ended up saying he was just stopping by to see Molly. No, I think Ava was the one who said something about an apartment or something like that. It was an apartment opening. They wanted to see if Molly wanted it. Then Rick ended up saying he came also to talk about the accident and how he wanted to, continue their truce and stuff like that. And Christina was just still suspicious. And I'm like, okay, we finna continue in a minute. But I said, why won't Alexis tell? Wouldn't that kind of solve some of their situation if she told? No, she ain't tell nothing. She's still not telling nothing. I said she ain't gonna never learn her lesson. But yeah, that's when Christina was like, she wanted to say something too about the accident. She ends up telling them that she moving on. She no longer blaming them. She's now calling her fall a fall instead of Ava pushing her out the doggone window. She told Rick that she, for the sake of Molly, because she important to her and stuff like that, and she don't want to lose her, she gonna put her grudge or how she feels about him to the side. I said, yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. I said, we'll see how long that lasts. But Molly ended up showing up after they left, and that's when she came in and Alexis said something about scouts upstairs. So, keep your voices down. She don't really want to talk about everything that happened about having Christina committed. But Molly brought it up anyway. I said, Molly's still at it. That's what I wrote down. I said, she's still at it. I said, you ain't know what you're talking about. She started talking about some, maybe we should have Drew. Maybe Drew needs to be committed and stuff like that. But Christina said she forgiving her mama. I said, forgiving her mama, you need to be apologized for everything you done did, sweetheart. You need to be you need to be I said, you need to be taking accountability for your actions. What the world? And she over here, Molly going in. I was like, she looking out for her sister. What they said? I'm stick beside her. Yeah, I was like, girl, calm down. But yeah, she ended up telling Alexis after Christina left something about it's gonna take Christina a while to, forgive her and stuff like that. Then after she left, that's when Alexis went over there and she pulled out the little paperwork or whatever. Y'all seen it? Cody had got a drink and he gave his card, and the dude came back, gave him Abraham card or whatever, and he's made a comment about the card, and then he looked over there, and I was like, well, it's something about the company that Rick made, ain't it? I don't know, but yeah, he started looking at Abraham once the dude returned the card to them, and I said, so Rick said he created it. Do y'all think it was already in existence? Like, what is it? Like, but either way it go, Cody gonna find out. They giving us a little hint, y'all. Well, yeah, look, at first I thought they was going to have Cody keep the card or something, but no, he just recognized the name on there, and then he seen that it was returned to Ava now. Let's see, who else we got? Laura, Cody, Rocco. I said Laura did right. I said about time somebody got to the bottom of this. Laura ended up going to see Rocco, and she was just asking him about everything that happened. He ends up telling her that he played a drinking game, and I said, at least she asking him. At least she asking him. I was waiting on Dante, Lulu, somebody to ask who gave him the doggone alcohol. He didn't ask so far. Nobody asked. I was waiting on Danny to show up. Danny did not show up. I think they did say something this week about Jason and Danny. I don't know if they said Jason gonna be getting onto Danny about his wrongdoing or what. But yeah, Laura ended up finding out how it all happened. He was playing a drinking game. He said something about he didn't want to leave Danny. Meanwhile, Danny left him. He didn't want to leave Danny. That's why he didn't leave the party, but Danny left him. Yeah, that's what they was talking about. That's when Dante and them came in. or whatever. And he is getting grounded. Y'all know I said yesterday, I was like, I wonder if he's still gonna get in trouble. Yeah, he's grounded. But Alexis, I didn't write down. Let me see. Wait a minute. How I skipped down? Did I write it down? Oh yeah, I did write it down. Dante now. That's who we got next. Dante, Lois. I can't understand my own handwriting, y'all. Dante, Lois, Gio, Lulu. He's still going off on him. Um, he still was going off on Gio. He's still upset about everything that's going on with his son and stuff like that. And he just started talking about his background, how he grew up. He never had accountability. Lois always protected him. He was just going off on this man. And he looked like, look, what I tell y'all, I said, he looked like I don't know if he got a temper or what, but y'all be seeing it. I said, I don't know. He getting upset and stuff and breathing kind of hard. I was like, I don't know. I said, calm down, Sonny Jr. When Dante not letting up, everybody, Lois keep trying to stop him. He telling her to either leave or stay out of it or something. She defended him, but she might as well just told at this point. But yeah, he was going off and going off. Lulu Kane trying to help, but he's still going off on the man. And what did they say? What did Lois start telling Dante about himself and how can you got a good heart and stuff like that? How can you not recognize that in Gio? I said, just tell the man that that's his. I said, daughter, that's his son or whatever. She basically was saying it without saying it, and Lulu just back there. She just looking. I said, the reporter investigating her is just calculating everything. She taking mental notes. She was just back there. She was on hush mode. Dante told her, "You mighty quiet." I said, exactly. She putting two and two together. But yeah, after Lois told him about himself, she ends up leaving. Gio had already left because he was defending Dante, saying that he is responsible and stuff like that. I said, but you didn't give it to him. You was responsible because you didn't tell. But other than that, like, no. But yeah, she ends up leaving, and that's when he asks Lulu why she was quiet. She ends up telling him she understands that he's scared, but he was wrong. He went too far or whatever. I don't think, did they ever go back to that? I think they just showed them going to a Rocco hospital room. Look, how I wrote down twice Alexis, Christina, Molly. We already did that. Let me scratch that out. Emma and Gio. He ends up telling what happened with Rocco, why he had to leave the party. She was just telling him she was supporting him. She was just supporting him and stuff like that because he was like, Dante's right. But he was like, one thing he sees is that Dante don't respect him. I said, oh, they had to stir up something to bring out this storyline to make these folks connected. We just seen them getting along and stuff. And that's something that Gio said. He was like, they was just getting along. He thought, he liked him and stuff like that. But he's seen that he don't respect him. I said, he got a point. He did speak his truth. They be acting like, oh, I said, you know what that reminded me of? Remember the scene? Well, I don't know how they reminded me of that, but remember when Dante got shot? That's when Olivia was like, he's your son or whatever. He's your son. I remember that scene. I said, I guess they're gonna do a switcheroo. They're gonna be into it or something like that, and that's when it's gonna come out. Either way go, I feel like Lulu's gonna be the one to tell. But yeah, that's all that happened with Emma and Gio. I'm forgetting somebody. Let me see. I already said Lulu and Dante. She was questioning. Oh, that's what I forgot. Lulu was questioning Dante because he was mentioning how, Gio grew up, he didn't have a mom and stuff like that. And she was questioning him about that and how Lois was, looking after him and stuff like that. And she brought up Brooklyn. He said, look, everything is not Brooklyn fault. And she was like, I'm not saying it. But yeah, she was asking about Gio upbringing and stuff. And I knew then. Well, really before then. When she was back there and she said that Lois said that about the heart and stuff, asking Dante how he can't recognize the same thing in Gio, and she was making no faces. That's when I knew. But yeah, by the end of the episode, that's when she pulled out her phone, and I'm assuming it was a recording where she was saying, find out where Lois was when Gio was born. I was like, yeah, go on, figure it out, girl. But that's it. That's everything, y'all. Let me make sure what I'm done said. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is her girl. Rest of the day and be safe.